High on Sun Valley's Athlete of the Week is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Patrick Buchanan, agent. Sun Valley Associates is the key to your home, a tradition of excellence since 1962. Put our team to work for you. 208-622-4100. svassociates.com.
I'm Michael David with Eye on Sun Valley Sports, and my very special guest is the Queen of Pain, Rebecca Rusch. Rebecca is a world-class athlete, adventurer, author, event producer, firefighter, and about to become a documentary film star. Rebecca, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the world premiere of your film, Blood Road, opens up the Sun Valley Film Festival next Wednesday. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the film and what it means to have it debuting in your hometown.
Well, the film is about the most important ride of my life that I took a couple years ago down the Ho Chi Minh Trail through Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia in search of really a personal journey. I'm a professional athlete, but it was more than that. One, to ride the whole length of the trail, but also to look for the place where my father's plane was shot down during the Vietnam War.
Right, right.
So it was a dual-purpose journey.
So incredible. And you mentioned your father being shot down. You were only 3 years old. At what point in your life did you determine that you needed to make this pilgrimage to your father's crash site? And how did the decision to tell your family's story in a documentary come about?
Yeah, I was 3, and I don't have my own memories of my dad, and you know, I'm 47 now, and it really has taken me this long for this journey to cultivate and for me to kind of be led there. I feel like my whole career path, being a professional athlete, cyclist, it's all kind of been taking me there, and it took a long time for me to want to get to know him and get to know what happened and really kind of find a missing part of myself. And so it's taken my whole life to get to this place. Right,
right. And then the decision to tell it in a documentary, how did that come about?
Red Bull has been my longest running partner for more than 15 years, and something really special about them, they never tell me what to do as an athlete. They ask me, what do I want to do? Mm-hmm. So I came to them with this dream and this project and this idea, and I think it's a very heartfelt story and a different story. They've never told anything like this. Red Bull is known for action sports films, so they were really intrigued, and they wanted to help me tell the story. So I feel really lucky. One, to be able to do the ride, but it's even more powerful to be able to tell it, because it's not just about me and my dad. It's about all veterans, all families, and so to be able to share that with a lot of people, I really am the messenger, and I feel blessed to be able to tell this story because it's an important one to tell.
Right, and we're lucky that you're telling it. You didn't do this ride by yourself. Give us a little brief introduction to Huyen Nguyen, your wonderful riding partner in the film, and how she was selected.
Yeah, Red Bull, I mean, it was a group project, and nothing we do is alone, as you know. And so there were people on the team, including my husband, as crew, and my mechanic, and also Huyen as a riding partner. And I didn't know her. She was a total stranger. Mm-hmm. We decided that, one, I wanted to have a riding partner for safety, but we also felt that it would be a really great bridge to the culture and what happened there. And you know, her family was alive during the war as well, and so she has connections. So, you know, and they call it the American War. We call it the Vietnam War. Right. So it really was kind of a bridge and a way for me to, you know, learn a little bit of language, you know, practice with chopsticks, and just kind of change the whole thing. If I went there by myself or with an American athlete, it wouldn't have been as immersed, I don't think.
Sure, sure.
And she turned out to be great. We were strangers and getting to know each other along the trail, and you know, I was really impressed. She's not a professional athlete anymore. She's a mom and a teacher, and so she was really, probably physically, the journey was really hard for her. That was the hardest part. Right. For me, the riding was actually the easy part, and sort of the emotion and making a film all along the way and getting to know Huyen and searching for my father, those were the hard parts for me. But the riding was actually the easy part.
Sure. Well, speaking of the hard parts, there is a visceral struggle throughout this film. You know, between the elite athlete that wants to go, and go as fast as you can, and the daughter who wants to reach her father's crash site by the anniversary date. versus the extreme kind of limitations put on you by the terrain and the culture. Even as far as you've got to ask the village chief for permission to accomplish your dream. Can you describe that tug of war, that struggle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trained as a professional athlete and entrepreneur, sort of self-made woman,
Right.
and my whole life has been about going out and grabbing what I want and working super hard and setting an agenda and, racing from start to finish, and that's what I'm trained to do. It's what I know. And this trip was nothing about that. I had to really learn to let go of my own agenda, to work kind of within what was offered to me, and realizing I was going to get to the finish line faster and better if I actually took a step back.
Right.
And it was very much letting go of control and letting things happen around me.
Sure.
And still, having goals and purpose, but realizing that being all about me wasn't going to work.
Right.
We really had to bring the team in, the villagers in, the jungle in, and kind of work together. It's sort of, I think of it as kind of like water flowing over rocks, and I had to kind of give a little, give a lot,
Yes,
actually.
yeah. Well, you've described this film as a story of forgiveness and family. What did you take away from this journey?
Oh man, I took so many things away. I'm a different person than when I started that ride, hands down. And I definitely have realized that, our family members or people who are no longer with us, they're still very much a part of who we are.
Right.
And discovering the side of myself that came from my dad is something that I really took from that and has maybe been hidden, for the first 47 years of my life,
Right.
because he wasn't there day to day to show me those things. But I feel like this trip, he really did kind of show himself to me, and the parts of me that maybe had been pushed down are starting to come out.
Right.
And that was a big lesson for me. But also that, Hugh became family. The director, Nick Shrunk, became family.
Right.
The camera crew, that we really are connected in so many ways, and knowing, even some of the villagers that we met, we have a personal connection with what went on there as well. And so it was a pretty special trip.
What a great story. Can you give us a little insight, speaking of your family, on the decision to share the very private, intimate letters that your father wrote to your mother and your sister and you while he was over there serving?
To me, I feel a responsibility to share everything that we have, and we're so lucky that my mom kept the letters, she recorded some of his music, and that's the only voice I have from him, because he's not here to say, Rebecca, you're doing a great job, and so that's the only, direct words from him. And I've learned throughout my career, and especially this project, that the more I open up and give, the more I get back. Right. And I feel responsible to tell this story, not just for me, for my dad, for the veterans, and for the healing that, from the scars that are still left from something 45 years ago.
Right, and speaking of those scars, the issue of UXOs is featured prominently in the film. And you, in your own words, your father was remorsefully a part of that crew that bombed those villages. Tell us a little bit about that issue and the humanitarian efforts that you're undertaking now to help with the cleanup and help with the ongoing casualties of war.
Yeah, the biggest surprise for me on the journey was that there is still so much scarring left. Bomb craters everywhere, and more importantly, unexploded ordnance. So. Right. There's a ton of unexploded ordnance, and it affects the villagers every single day, farming their land, getting on with their lives. And I was appalled to learn that our trash is still there and why it hasn't been cleaned up. And the estimate is, at the current rate, it'll take 100 more years for all of it to be cleaned up.
Wow.
And so I feel like part of my lesson, part of my responsibility of my dad bringing me there is I can use my reach as an athlete and an advocate to actually help clean up the ordinance that's still there. And so I've sort of embarked on a mission. I've taken a group of mountain bikers back, a bunch of Idaho locals, and fundraising for an organization called Mines Advisory Group, and their efforts are cleaning up Laos and Cambodia and places where we've left our garbage. So it's great to me to know that I can use my my bicycle as a vehicle for change, and that I can be part of the solution of something. And if I'd never gone there, I never would have known about it.
Sure. Well, and I know you do everything to the fullest, so I think if we all get involved with this too, we can all help with that cleanup. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. You know, I've often pondered the athlete's heart and what it takes to reach these extreme heights that you've reached in so many endeavors. Where does the drive and determination to do what you do come from?
I can look back, the one consistent throughout my career, being a rock climber, a cyclist, a lot of different things, is that, you know, I've sort of stuck to a few core goals, and I can identify them now sort of as a more mature athlete, but, you know, I've always followed my passion, even moving here and living out of my car and ending up in Idaho, you know, because I wanted to be outside, I wanted to follow my passion, I wanted to do things that made me happy.
Right.
And also push myself. And the next layer of that is through pushing myself. You know, I found out who I am at the end of a 100-mile mountain bike ride, and you know, it's an ever-changing lesson for me of trying to become a better human. And the next evolution of it is now being able to use my bike to, you know, teach young girls to ride, to clean up ordnance in Laos, to sort of do something more. It's come, you know, full circle from just me pushing myself really hard because I want to push myself really hard, to pushing myself really hard with a bigger purpose.
Sure.
But I think the drive, it always comes from, you have to want to do something. You know, you have to want to ride the Ho Chi Minh Trail for whatever reason. You have to want to go hike up Waldy or whatever it is. If you lose sight of that in whatever job you have, then I think you start to feel a little bit lost.
So the debut of this film at the Sun Valley Film Festival is special in many ways. It is your hometown that you're debuting the film, and March 7th is the anniversary date of when your father was shot down. Describe the emotions and the feeling.
I think both those things put together, the location and the timing of this film coming out, it couldn't be more perfect. I mean, this is my hometown, it's my safe place, and for one of the hardest things I've done in my life, to be able to share it at home first among a safe crowd of family and friends, it's the perfect way to kick it off, and it is, you know, right around the same time of the 45th anniversary of the day his plane was shot down, and so yeah, the timing and the location are really special for me. And 2 years ago, almost to the day, I was there riding on the trail as well and searching for him. So it's all coming together just in the right way that it should be, and I'm honored that we get to show here at home first.
Right, that's so great. I'd love to have you back on again to talk more about that. You're an inspiration to all of us, and thank you so much. Everybody, come on out and check out Blood Road. That's from Red Bull Media House Films. The debut at the Sun Valley Film Festival next Wednesday, March 15th. There's going to be an encore celebration, encore presentation if you can't make that on Saturday. But this is a very important film, and I hope you all get a chance to see it. My guest has been Rebecca Rusch. Thank you so much for being here. I also want to thank our sponsors, Patrick Buchanan with State Farm Insurance, Jim Figge, and everyone at Sun Valley Associates, a tradition of excellence since 1962. I'm Michael David with Eye on Sun Valley Sports, keeping my eye on Wood River Valley sports and Wood River Valley hometown heroes for you.
Eye on Sun Valley, daily local news from beautiful Sun Valley, Idaho.